Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, Gary here for Bizarre Brain Comics. A couple weeks or so ago, I covered a book from Marvel Comics, a teen humor book called Misty, which was created, written, and drawn by Trina Robbins. And I gave some of her background at that time. And among the things that she had done is she has written several books about women cartoonists. And here I have one of her books is A Century of Women Cartoonists by Trina Robbins, which is a great little history. I'd say a little. It's an oversized trade paperback. I'll give you just a little bit of, in case you didn't catch that before, just a little bit of Trina Robbins' background again. She had started in the doing underground comics back in the 60s, doing stuff on the East Village Other underground newspaper in New York, and doing some comic stuff there. She co-created, or at least did the original design for Vampirella, and she has always been big in feminist circles. Started women's comics, an underground comic, which I have a few issues of. Women's comic out of San Francisco. Underground, by and about women, including herself. She's had a few firsts. She's done. She was in the 80s. She was the first woman artist to work on a Wonder Woman title, and it's surprising that it took over 40 years for that. Of course, there have been several women who have been the regular artists and writers of the Wonder Woman title since then. But and that was a period when she did that Wonder Woman miniseries for DC, which was about the same time she did the Misty miniseries at Marvel. Was between the conclusion of the pre-crisis Wonder Woman title and the reboot of the post-crisis Wonder Woman title. And that was a nice little book. She has done she's done a lot of books, a lot of stuff. Has produced books of paper dolls. She seems to really like paper dolls. And I think that kind of falls on. I get the general impression that her favorite woman cartoonist is Dale Messick, who was the creator and artist on the Brenda Starr comic strip for many years. And Dale Messick included a lot of paper dolls in her strip. But this book, I had to wet my whistle a little bit. But this book is probably as close to a comprehensive history of women cartoonists as you're liable to get. And you can see Trina's her lovely style right here, because she did the cover illustration, and it features the work of a lot of course, women cartoonists, going back to the turn of the 20th century. And this book is from Kitchen Sink Press, and I'm sure it's been reprinted since then. I think this is from the initial when it was initially published, because that's when I got it, 1993. This is from 1993, Kitchen Sink Press, and get a little bit of an idea here of some of the stuff that it covers. Ooh. See, and it goes way back. You can see it has some photographs of some of the artists and samples of their work. And back in those days, it describes how difficult it was for women to get stuff, get work, and do stuff. There were a lot of illustrators. There were several female illustrators at this time doing primarily children's books, and even like the strips and stuff. Like here, it was mostly cutesy little children, or other things about family life. You see more cutesy little children, and that kind of stuff, or things about single young ladies. Now this illustration here, this is is that Nell Brinkley? I think it is. Now it's beautiful. It's a beautiful drawing. This is Nell Brinkley here over on the left, and some very just amazingly beautiful work. This is during the flapper era. See, even here, paper dolls, by Nell Brinkley. Oh, Babs in Society, things about. This is the flapper era of the 20s. There's Marianne. This is young things about young single women. Have more stuff about family life. Oh, this is really, really lovely. Virginia Krausman. Very lovely work here. And a lot of the, which one could call good girl artists, have been female. Dizzy, Tippy, or some of the others. Luke and Duke. Some soldiers. Some more, the Cupies. Some more really, really cutesy. And the Cupid dolls have been so collectible, you still see them around once in a while. Pussycat Princesses. Blonde Bombers and Girl Commandos into the war years. There's with Brenda Starr. Brenda Starr, Girl Reporter. And there she's. They had Brenda Starr, yeah. And they had a really, really lame Brenda Starr movie back in the early 90s. I think it was by starring Brooke Shields. It's just unfortunate it was so lame, because Brooke is an adequate actress, and had it been better written and produced, it could have been a really nice, because it had some good talent in there. Miss Fury. It's a strip. About a female vigilante, and I guess, and look at this picture right here. It was considered too risque, and a lot of papers canceled the strip right then and there. Of course, that was in the 30s or 40s. All kinds of stuff, and she just highlights all these artists. All these cartoonists. There's some beautiful stuff here. The Lost World by Lily Renee from Planet Comics in the 40s. And here's some example of good girl art. Lily Renee. Some more beautiful stuff. It did some superheroes, some adventure stories, they had their share of horror and Heroes All, Catholic Action Illustrated. Bobby Socks. Susie Q. Smith. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, and here, speaking of Misty, here is from the first issue of Millie the Model, who was created and originally drawn by Ruth Atkinson. And this is from 1945. And Millie the Model she ran through into the 70s at Marvel, and it started out kind of like this: a single working girl, teen humor / romance, and then was just teen humor, and then for a while it became a romance comic. I'm going to cover that again. I've done Millie the Model before. Okay, so and Millie was Misty's aunt in that Misty miniseries. There's just this lady doing some westerns. And this is Katie Keene, although Bill Wagon created and drew Katie Keene. There's some very lovely stuff. This is this particular one is by a young lady who won an award for. She was a fan at the time, and then later became Barbara Rausch. Oh, young Barbara Rausch, who later became a cartoonist herself. Oh, here, speaking of lovely, I just want to make sure. Summer Lifestyle. This is from Valerie Barkley, 1987. It's just beautiful work. Even Tom and Jerry. Oh, and it can't. This is getting into the more modern era. A little bit. And no history of female cartoonists could be complete without a good deal of Marie Severin, who was instrumental. And there's a little self-caricature of her down there. Marvel could not have worked in the way it did so well in the 60s and 70s without Marie Severin, both as an artist and colorist, and other things. Ramona Fradon did Aquaman and Metamorpho, and Ramona Fradon then later did, after Dale Messick died, took over the Brenda Starr comic strip. And this is some very early Trina Robbins. This is Trina Robbins' Kid Karma from the East Village Other, 1968. Then, of course, a few women really got into the underground because there wasn't as much in the overground. Here, this is more really lovely, marvelous stuff. Haven't a clue. Oh, okay, Roberta Gregory, from 1991. I always liked Roberta Gregory, and although I've corresponded a little bit with her, and have her as a friend on Facebook. She wouldn't remember me though. I'm sure. I never got to meet her or anything. It's Mary Fleener. Oh, and one of the biggies in the underground, whom we just recently lost just a few weeks ago, was Aline Kaminsky Crumb, the wife of the seminal underground artist Robert Crumb. And here we have just a small sampling of Dory Sita. She did Lonely Nights in 86. She had done some stuff that was in Weirdo magazine, published by the Crumbs, and unfortunately she died in her early 30s before. So she had only a very limited amount of work published, and I really liked her work. Lesbian Agenda for Attitude, and there many female cartoonists working today. Artist, Wendy Penny, from co-creator with her husband of Elf Quest. She has some very beautiful work. I really like her stuff and Elf Quest. Colleen Duran. Here's A Distant Soil from 1992, and then here on the top left corner photograph here is Colleen Duran from way back when, and then down here this is Wendy Penny with her husband Richard. And then some more. Here's some Galactic Girls. And here's some Trina examples. And this up in the upper left corner, Angel Love by Barbara Slate. And then there's Misty, which we covered a couple weeks ago, by Trina. And then California Girls, also by Trina. And a similar kind of book. And then this is some really lovely stuff. Who is this? Vicky Valentine by Barbara Rausch. And there's women doing some Archie stuff. And here's Barbie by various artists. Amanda Connor, Anna Marie Cool, Barbara Rausch, Mary Wilshire. And here's a page spread here of women artists on Wonder Woman. Here's Trina again, and there's just too many here to go through. But all this beautiful Wonder Woman work by various artists, women artists. Nina Gives Up by Nina Paley. And just a whole host. This book is probably available on if you're interested, on Amazon or eBay, if it can't be found on elsewhere. Libraries probably have copies, and I've run longer than I wanted to just to show you this great book. It's a great feature on comics history in general, and specifically on female cartoonists, and with wonderful examples of their work. There's some great stuff, and so that's what I've got for you this time. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you know someone interested in female artists, specifically cartoonists. Share this with them. They'll get a kick out of it. Might steer someone to this book. And of course, Trina is still alive. She's in her late 70s, I think, if not early 80s. I can't remember. Anyway, that's what I've got for you. Thank you for joining me. And remember, comics are art.